Good morning. Today we are working on these blocks again for Upskill Monday. My name is Lorrie. Welcome to my channel. We are quilters. So we have done several things. We have blinged, we have stitched, we have buttoned. We've done a lot of things. Let me get rid of this little box here so I can share with you. I'd put this on a nice black background, but then you might lose the blocks. So today's little thought is all about things you can sew on. So I have this wonderful collection of doilies. And I picked these up at yard sales. I think I paid a dime a piece for some of these. And they are fantastic. And these ones are in good shape. Good shape. Sometimes they are not in as good a shape. But look at these ones. And some of them are like Battenberg. These are fantastic. And if I didn't want to use the whole motif, if this was in bad shape, I would probably cut out the flower and just sew it down. Or maybe this center medallion. These ones are in fairly good shape. And there's a pair of them. Somebody was just tired of looking at them, and they even had them nice and pressed out. I didn't have to do a lot of work. And they're in different sizes. And sometimes cutting it in half or in a quarter is just what your block needs. It doesn't need a whole thing. It just needs like a corner piece to show off something. And then there's also this, I'm going to call it Battenbergish lace because it's machine made. Of course, they're probably all machine made, but this would work too. You could cut out the flower motifs or it would work. And of a color that would be acceptable and layered. Look at this one. It has lots of those circle motifs that would be fantastic on a block. And then I have a bag. And this is a sad little bag of parts and pieces. But I felt that when I was cleaning that, see this one looks like an old-fashioned like shade pool that somebody made, but it would work. Ooh, I think I'll set that one aside for today. And then there's this one is rough. It feels like somebody was making a scrubby. That one is very rough. And this one, oh, see, this was 50 cents on it. Let's take that off there. I like to take stickers off. And this one's already on its way to being destructed into 4 little parts. Or maybe that's the way it always was. I don't know. But for 50 cents, it gave me parts and pieces. And a lot of times, if they're discolored, I will wash them in the washer. You can tell these ones have not been pressed, but you can see it has some discoloration. So I would either cover that up, chop it up, something a little different. And this one has already been chopped. So it can be used somewhere. But lots of little pieces. Oh, look at this one. And the brown, it's been washed. So the brown is probably intentional. But that would be great, like if you needed a sun. And then there are little pieces, because little pieces can be used too. Sometimes you don't want whole pieces. Like this one has a great flower that needs trimmed. Maybe this is off of a shirt. I loved the shirt and wore it until it fell apart, or pieces fell off of it, like this one. I think I'll keep that flower out and do something with it today too. And then there's little cute ones, like I said. And this one's another rough one. Somebody must have been using that scrubby yarn. I don't know. That one's a cute one too. on the cheap. It's not worth, I don't think it's worth spending lots and lots of money for them, but you do what you want. And I would never use the ones my own Grandma B, made for me, because she made me snowflakes. They're tatted, they're not crocheted. But again, there's the little flower motif. It just needs iron. And here's one. I love this one. And you'll notice that these have not been cut up because they're in full pieces. They might become full-size quilt blocks at some point, the ones that are big enough. So this one, I love that green edge. And this one feels hand done by someone's grandma, which in some ways, the ones that are hand done that I pick up at yard sales, it makes me sad that somebody in their own family didn't love those pieces. Makes me glad that, oh, this one's a pocket. Look at that. I've never noticed that before. At any rate, I'm going to sew some of these pieces on and share how the block looks. Oh, look at that one. That one that's made out of a heavier thread, but that is fantastic. That little cross thing going there. And then there's also lace. Not just doilies, but that looks like homemade lace. Maybe we'll apply that somewhere today too. So don't overlook the little pieces that you might have, because you never know what kind of decoration it might become. Let me show you an example before I start adding things to our stack of blocks today. And I'm still working on the black. I have several different colors of blocks over there, but slowly I'm adding things to these. Let me show you an example. This block, I picked up a doily at a yard sale, and it was off-white. And you're thinking, wait, it's not off-white. No, it is not off-white. I didn't like, the color was fine. But in the bedroom, I had some of this color pink on the furniture. And the spare bedroom here is sort of, we call it the spare room and pantry. Like spare room, like Lion Witch in the wardrobe. So it's like the princess room. I hope someday when Scarlett's older, my granddaughter, she will come and stay, and it can be her little princess room. So I have added pink to the tabletops with high gloss spray paint. So I painted the table white first, and then I laid a doily on it so that it looks like it has a doily built in, and I don't have to have a doily on it. Well, then I had this lovely pink doily. So when I made this block, I just went, oh, that fits in it perfectly. And I just sewed it down around the edge. There, I got rid of that little thread that was bothering me. I sewed it down around the edge, and it fits perfectly. And it does its job, and the background makes it so you can see through it. It is a fantastic application. So if you don't like the color of a doily, you can always dye them or paint them. Just a thought for you. So now that I've shared this fantastic block with you and how I painted a doily, and it has held up to wash because I checked before I applied it on there. Let me pull out some blocks to start applying things to. Let's start with one of these little cute doilies. I want a block that's fairly plain with big spaces. I mean, that would look really good there. But I don't want to cover up the bling I've already done. And I really don't want to chop. See, that would look good there too. That's a thought. Even if it covers up some of the stitching, that would be okay. Let's set that one aside. Oh, I know this isn't a black block except for the background here. I think this one is going to have that applied. Let me set that over for the for some machine work. Not bad. Yeah. Ooh, let's take a look at this one with a doily. Or even one of these big purple ones. I like that. Or a little red one in the corner. Or there's kind of a bare spot here. Let's put that one right there. Maybe. And I'm either going to have to cut off that string or use it in the design somehow. I still like this one because that is such an open, and I need to leave enough space here that when I sew the blocks together, since I don't want to, I'm not cutting it today, that it leaves, I'm going to do this, so it leaves seam allowance. Let's see if I can find a home for that red one or this pink one. Let's trim that up. Now, the sad thing is, as I'm trimming this one up, if I kill it, well, it might not be as usable as I thought. And that can happen. There we go. Little thread there. Boop. Little thread there. Let's just trim that little piece off. Sometimes just a little careful trim work goes a long way. Oh, and I see I have some more threads there. But I don't want to cut into the woven part if I can help it. Do we have a block that has pink? Oh, look at that. That's like the perfect flower right there. And then a pink flower next to it. That might work. Or the pink flower in the boring gray part right next to it. I think we'll go with that. And I will trim it up as I am at the machine. Let's set that aside to be sewn down. Oh, I still don't have, oh, look at all that red. Oh. I think I want to work that into the design element somehow. You know, snip it and have it run both directions. So it's part of the design. That would be very cool. I like it over there, but then I don't think this will work. And I want to keep away from the edges. You know, that might work. That would be great with a blingy button in it. Because look at that. Ooh, blingy button. Not there though, but another place with a blingy button. This would be great here because there's red everywhere. And I could use that as an element to outline along there. I'm going to set that one aside for right now. So I have 3 that need to go to the machine to be stitched. And, oh wait, I said maybe we would use this lace for something too. Let's find, oh, that would look great there, wouldn't it? It kind of imitates the up and down, and there's a big empty space. Let's set this one over there to sew also. So I will be back in just a few minutes while I sew these on. And to sew them on, it's not difficult. You pick a thread color that sort of matches and you go along the outside elements at the edges. And if you need to, you sew along the inside elements. Or you can use a clear nylon thread also. I don't prefer nylon threads because I'm not sure how they'll hold up to the heat of things like the dryer later on. And I like my quilts to be washable. So let me go get to some sewing and I will be back in just a moment. I had to step into the other room for a moment to grab a thread box because some of those are different colors. So I need a maroon color, and there's one. So I found this little box back there, this antique thread box, and it actually has all the colors I need except the white, which is over by the sewing machine already. So sometimes these little spools of thread do come in handy, and I've tested them all for dry rot. So I know that they will work because I throw ones with dry rot away unless I pull the thread off and they become the wooden spool. Here we have the pile all done, ready to be looked at. So this one was like sewing on a ninja star. And I had to go around each point. And then I sewed on, oh, look at this, threads. Well, I'll have some thread trimming to do. Then I sewed that cord down both sides. And this one from my shirt went on there nicely. I did discover that this color purple thread did not work on this pink like I thought it would. This one I sewed all around inside so that it would stay put because I don't want it to puff up in the middle. And it did take some lifting the presser foot and putting the presser foot down, but it will be worth it in the end. And this has so many possibilities for other little blingy spots. This one with the lace, I did stay stitch right along that edge so I can trim it off and it will not unravel and it will still be usable so I can throw it back in the pile. I probably could trim it on this side too. And that way it'll get caught in the seams on both sides when I put this into a quilt. And last, this one. I did this one first. And it lays so nice and flat. And I sewed it like a flower. I started in the center and did like a spiral out. And then I went around each individual. So I had to sew slowly. But it is worth the sew slowing in the end because it lays so nice and flat and crisp. And you really cannot see those stitches. And from a distance, like my friend says, riding on a fast horse, you would not even notice those little swirly stitches in the center. That is all for today. So go dig up some doily pieces and add some blingy doily grandma to your quilts. And someone will love those later on. But even the tiniest pieces are usable. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a nice day. See you on Wednesday for Build-A-Block.